Just a quick update. I'm about 40 days in, and there are 50 days left. Today is the Lunar New Year, so Chinese New Year, the year of the snake. Um, I'm still revising chapter 1. Um, yeah, it's really hard to continue when I keep having to go back and make tiny changes to what I've done so far. But overall, it feels pretty good to tidy things up, make everything kind of thematic and sequential. Um, but I really want to get back to the point where I'm just writing words and not editing, um, because right now I feel like I'm not getting a lot done. I've been doing a lot of professional procrastination as usual. Um, you know, lots of distractions, lots of uh, inner inner conflicts, just basically not able to focus or uh, do what I need to do because it's not all fun all the time. Um, so yeah, basically all of the major characters have been fleshed out. So, and all of the characters I don't like have been flushed out. So, um, pretty much ready to rock and roll. Have everything ready to go. I just have to work on it. What's cool is at my work, I can look over at this cemetery. So, um, yeah, it's always right around the corner. Little reminders, just like that song. I don't want to mention it for copyright infringement purposes, but the lyrics are, "There's always something there to remind me." And yeah, so I have lots of memories, even from way back when I was first having ideas to write this. Let's see, it would have been almost 9 years ago when I first started having this idea to write about my experience, but creating it as a fictional piece and not just kind of talking about things that actually happened. And I don't really want to talk directly about things that actually happened because there's a lot of real people, places, and things involved. So I'm kind of using my own experiences and making it my own expression of my inner feelings at that time. So, and you're dealing with dead people, so you don't really want to disrespect them by talking about someone or some family. So, and most of it is the people that work in the industry, and yeah, I don't really want them to be part of it anyway. Even though they're the characters in the story, but I don't really want anything to do with them. Some were good, some were bad, some were mediocre, but they were all interesting in their own way because they're in a industry that's not often thought about. Because the first thing we think of, the most common question people would ask me when I told them that I worked at a mortuary was that it's like, oh, you pick them up in the hearse, which doesn't make sense at all. It's always a nondescript van that we drive to go pick up the bodies. Yeah, what did they think? Someone in a top hat and a tuxedo is gonna come pick up their loved one, and a bolt of lightning strikes in the sky as the doors opened, and some guy who's 7 feet tall and long face, long eyes, long ears, everything long, showing up at the door. No, they don't want Lurch taking their loved ones away, rubbing his hands together. No, it wasn't like that at all, actually. Yeah, I wore a black shirt on my first call. Actually, it's funny. I got my first call when I was gonna go hang out with my friend Alex, and he was living at his mom's house. And when I got my first call, it was behind Alex's mom's house. So taking the main street past and then behind there, which was really weird because I was planning on going to that exact area to visit my friend, and then got that call and I went with Captain Kangaroo to that house. It was the first of 3. So my first day of work, actually, I got 3 calls. The first one was behind Alex's mom's house, and it was really peaceful. Everyone was calm, and there was actually a photographer there, which I thought was strange, and I never really experienced that since. But yeah, there was a photographer there photographing the the body, and the sun was coming in through the curtains, and everything was kind of calm and picturesque, and everyone was kind of tense. But Captain Kangaroo, no, it wasn't Captain Kangaroo. It was Denny. Denny was wearing this kind of like orangish sunrise color shirt, and he had this kind of weird floppy hair, and he kind of walked, kind of swayed back and forth as he walked. And he walked into the room and he said something kind of funny, not inappropriate, but just to let the air out of the room, and it did. It just burst the tension bubble, and everyone just looked at this nice guy, and he walked right in and talked to the family, and I must have met the guy because the husband of the woman who died a year later committed suicide on her grave, blew his brains out on her grave, and the coroner he had been processed at the coroner's office, which usually suicides go through the coroner's office, and then he had been brought to our facility, and someone asked me to go in and put his head on a head block. We lift the head up, put it on a head block, so that the body has good posture. And so another person I worked with said that broken bones are very sharp, and so when I reached behind the head to pick the head up, put it on the block, uh, it I felt it was very sharp in the back, like an open shark's mouth, shark's teeth, and so it kind of grabbed around it, and I could feel the skull kind of collapsing like 100 puzzle pieces, because I know because probably the reverberation from the gunshot, some high caliber gunshot, because the hole in the back of the head must have been like that big. So anyway, I ended up grabbing the neck and kind of bringing the head up onto the block, and then as I was leaving, his head slowly turned like this and looked me right in the eyes. I said, no. And I kind of straightened his head, and yeah, it was really strange because that was the husband of my first call. So yeah, that story's not making it into the book. I just remembered that while I was talking here. So yeah, 40 days in, 50 days left. Got a lot to do.